what are some tips you can provide, I suppose, for founders and even investors that can be listening to this, thinking about their investee companies? What tips could you provide to them? I suppose not tips, but what strategies can you provide to them that can really sort of set them up for success?
I always say there's always an element of people in terms of the business performance, right? And we think about even our P&L as business owners. Where do we spend most of our money? On our P&L. Down to wages, salaries, and people. And this is where we actually spend the least amount of time often focusing as a business. Have we really assessed the capability in the executive team? So if you're an investor and you've got an exec team you're working with, what's the capability in the leadership team? Because if the capability isn't there to take the company to the next level, it doesn't matter how great the strategy is. So it definitely comes down to that executive team. Who is at that leadership level? What value add do they bring? What's their head, heart, briefcase? Do they have the right brain and behaviors? But do they have the right values and ethics? Because I've also sadly worked in some organizations where the executive team are backstabbing each other and, shareholders and other people may not be aware of it, but there's some really bad dysfunction going on at an exec level. And I think until you start to get to know them as business owners and execs and really find out how they're running the business, that can be often holding it down is some of that internal politics. So again, what I do when I come in is really start to find out what are those friction points. Is it between two people? Is it two divisions? We often see sales and marketing. That's a real common one that you often see, those two divisions fighting for power. So again, looking at that's really important. And looking at team dynamic. As an executive team, do we have the right team to execute on this strategy? If we're trying to go to new places, big ideas, new products and services, we need quite a high risk, high entrepreneurial style of profile in the leadership team with some execution. But if we're trying to, grow our manufacturing business through a lot of stability and automation and process, the way that we're going to grow the business is different. And therefore, we need a different behavioral pattern in that executive team to deliver on the strategy. So there is often people say to me, what's the perfect team dynamic, Alicia? When you look at these wheels, what's the perfect dynamic? I say, well, until you've assessed the strategy and overlaid the strategy, there is no answer there. We need the right team for the strategy. Like we need right person, right role, we need the right team on the right strategy.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like or comment below. If you want to find out what drives and motivates you, click the link in the comments below and take the free Predictive Index Behavioural Assessment and find out what drives and motivates you today.